My dear students, welcome to the world of chemistry, chapter 6 Thermodynamics. This is the e-content lesson number 8. Today, I focus upon an important thermodynamic properties of the system. Extensive properties, intensive properties, and delta U, change in internal energy as a state function. State whether the following thermodynamic parameters, namely heat Q, work W, is a state function or path function. Can you give the answer? Both are path function. Heat and work are path function, that is, it depends upon the path followed. Students, what about Q plus W is a state function or path function? Can you give the equation of first law of thermodynamics? Anybody? Delta U equal to Q plus W. What is delta U? Is it a state function or path function? It is a state function. How? Delta U depends upon the initial state and final state of the system. Both Q and W are not state function, but delta U equal to Q plus W is a state function. Can you explain? See the slide. Let delta U1 be the increase in internal energy from A to B by the path 1, and let delta U2 be a decrease in internal energy from path 2 from B to A, that is, delta U1 is greater than delta U2. But delta U2 cannot be different from delta U1 according to first law of thermodynamics. That is, delta U does not change with the change of the system. That is, it depends upon the initial and final state of the system and not upon how the system attained the state. Thus, internal energy U is a state function. Is U is a extensive or intensive property? Can you define extensive property? Internal energy is an extensive property. All thermodynamic function delta U, change in internal energy, change in enthalpy delta H, change in entropy delta S, change in Gibbs free energy delta G, all are extensive property. What is extensive property? It is a property depends upon the mass or size of matter in the system. In extensive property, the system is divided into parts. Extensive property is additive in nature. It can be changed with time. Can you give the example of extensive property which depends upon mass, size of matter? Example is mass, volume, energy, etc. can be divided into parts. What about in the case of pressure and volume? Is it can be divided? No. So, it is a intensive property. What is intensive property? It is a property independent of mass, size of matter. It cannot be divided. Intensive property are independent of mass, size of matter. It is not additive in nature. It may be the function of both position and time. Can you give the example of intensive property independent of mass or size of matter? Temperature, pressure, density, concentration, viscosity, refractive index, surface tension, melting point, boiling point, etc. All are physical quantities. All physical quantities are intensive property. Are all specific properties are intensive in nature? Can you explain? Yes, all specific properties are intensive in nature. Example, specific heat capacity, molar volume, etc. are intensive in nature. Thank you students. Thank you all.